what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah? Keep listening.
A very happy Thursday afternoon, almost evening to you. Thank you for being a part of this amazing little party we call Your Show, the only live show on YouTube, Monday to Friday, 4 to 5 p.m., just like a real show. We also make up categories we're number one in. Today, for instance, we are the number one category, or number one in said category, for shows that have a producer that destroyed the host in Super Smash Bros., the original on the N64, right before the show. Not proud to say that, but I got to give props to the Dragon, co-host from the viewing room. New episode drops every Tuesday, as he looks at me. How do you not know? Co-hosting with LB, the latest edition, Moulin Rouge. Batman 89, the best one ever. So I was doing a bunch of promo making today. So I was going through a bunch of different episodes of stuff and this and that. And I see all the labels with all the names, so I just hope one's right. The greatest Batman of all time. The only Batman, if you will. So shout out to Dragon on the ones and twos today. We also have the world's cutest mammal on a bed. Not the ones and twos, but on a beautiful bed. Also on a Maggie cam. Let's check in with her now and see how she's doing. Oh, there she is. Dreaming away. The Maggie cam. The super quiet sleepy edition for our fantastic pals over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, Mike, along with his beautiful wife, Michelle, their dog, Leroy, who also just so happened to be dating Maggie. Always there to make it the greatest experience of your life the second you walk in those doors over at Pet Planet on 8th Street. And if you go after hours or on the weekend, you'll see Kirsten, Shar, and Chris. And they will also make sure you have that incredible experience that you've come to grow and love from our great friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, as Margaret slowly drifts off into puppy sleep time. I'm always trying to come up with creative ways to lead into these previously recorded segments that we do. And I'm starting to realize that I intro them every single time right on the thing. So I have to stop saying, and now this is this and this. And I say, I wonder what we got next. Take it away, Dragon. Let the Thursday party commence.
Yes, let's
Matt
go.
Young from
You
CTV in the house as we continue our lovely little feature on how to upkeep all of your old systems, controllers, games, even your Game Boys.
And just how to have fun with video games. Exactly. Right here in Saskatoon. That's really cool.
I wanted to show you. I lost the screen on the top.
I was going to say, I noticed that. That's interesting. So
might be something down the road.
That cover came off. Well, we can show you that. And also, I see this thing. Okay, so this one's starting to oxidize a little bit, starting to yellow a bit.
We've talked about that in
there
past
is
shows.
a way to fix that, and we are going to do a show on that eventually. I got to get the product.
Awesome.
But there is a way to fix that, to make your Game Boy or your Super Nintendo gray again, as they say. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be
Very
fun.
pumped.
And oh yeah. Game Boy's great. Do you have a favorite Game Boy game?
You know, NES Golf.
NES Golf.
They
There you
have the
go.
Golf
There
on the
you
Game Boy.
got
It was-
it on the Game Boy.
it was
too?
actually in here.
Oh man.
I took it out because I also have a Game Boy Advance or something like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
A Pocket
Game Boy Pocket. Okay.
And I had this in the Game Boy Pocket forever.
Oh,
Link's
Zelda there.
Awakening.
That's a classic right
And I
there.
had golf in this one, and then I
Oh,
took the
that's
golf out.
awesome.
And now I'm playing the golf
Nice.
on the other
nice.
Game Boy.
I remember playing Tetris on that game
Oh, yeah.
forever when I was young, and my buddy again, he was always good at video games. He always get one level ahead of me, and I'd
Every
sit
time.
there. It was like 3 a.m. I'm still going.
My brother was the same way. He
There
would
you
always
go.
challenge, and we'd link up the Tetris.
Oh yeah, I
with
remember
the
that.
two.
The chords. You could. Oh yeah.
So fun.
Wow.
But that's not why we're here today, my friend.
Well, we're here to talk about video games, and we're here to talk about a few things. So last week it was the start of the NHL season, so we brought out like all our old NHL games, right?
It was like a walk through history.
Exactly.
It was incredible.
Exactly. Well, we're gonna travel back through time again, right here in Saskatoon, to back in the '90s. You know, when Saskatoon, it was a little bit different. SaskTel Center had just been built, right? You know, it was, and at the time, Saskatoon is actually looking at getting an NHL team in the '80s, right?
Oh, the chase for the Blues.
And there you go. So back then, when you bought video games, you got really cool stuff, right? Yes. So I got some video games here, and we're gonna bring them out here. Let's come out here. So we got a little bit of NBA Jam. By the way, who doesn't love NBA Jam?
Even people
NBA
that don't
Jam
like
is
basketball
crazy good.
still love playing. It transcends. Yeah.
Arcade hit. I remember when it came out. NBA Jam was awesome, and I remember playing. And it didn't matter where you were. You got addicted to it right away.
Yeah. Foot Locker.
You were.
Foot Locker had it.
They had it?
At Midtown, yeah, back in the day. They had it set up.
Awesome.
That and there was also the fighting basketball one they had in there for a while. I forget what it was called, but it was very fun.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, it was a fun game, and everybody enjoyed it, and you were begging your parent more quarters because back then a game only cost a quarter. Now it's like $2.
Yeah, it's dumb.
So, then I brought another hockey game. This is ESPN National Hockey Night. I never played it much. I did play it a little bit. I thought it was okay. I don't think it was quite as good as Stanley Cup.
It is. Yes.
Who remembers Stanley Cup hockey?
The only
Super
thing
Nintendo,
I remember about that game, and I played it
go.
a lot, was hitting the X button at center ice.
At center ice, and it would go in every time.
Every time.
Right?
It was the cheat. It was like the corner and the wraparound in the original EA Sports NHL.
That's right. So I remember that game, and it was really hard to score. Other than that,
that's the problem, right? I know, because it was one of the first ones that had the camera that moved.
Exactly.
It flipped sides each time with like possessions. It was a weird concept.
Exactly. So now back in the, I mean, right now you would download a game, or if you buy a physical game, it'll come in the case. But back in our day, kids in our age, you got cool stuff. So like you would get things like posters.
Yes.
Right? And you would get these posters in these game cartridges, and they would be posters for different games. So this one was for Joe Montana football.
That was one of the best football games.
And on the back, you would have like a whole bunch of list of games that were coming out.
It was like a mini commercial pack.
Exactly. And so what you could do is you get these little things. You put these posters up in your room and stuff like that. Now you don't really get any of that. This is what I like about some of these older games, is bringing out some of these old posters. And I mean, look at that. I mean, you got all kinds of different stuff. This one's for Sega Game Gear, so you got stuff like Sonic and Castle of Illusion and stuff like that.
Dude, they had a mini putt and putter
right there. I mean, you got all kinds of cool stuff, and of course this was. Game Gear was like old portable gaming, like not like PSP now or whatever you got, right?
It was like a Game Boy Color for Sega.
That's right. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, it was a Game Boy Color for Sega.
So cool.
And if you can find one that works now, they're a little hard to find. You got to replace the capacitors in them, but there you go. Those are some of the poster that you would get. And then, of course, if you go, there's now you've played Grand Theft Auto before, I'm sure. The Grand Theft Auto is a super. There's a super popular game, of course. Everybody plays it. And so, you used to get, and I remember this for Grand Theft Auto, this one right here. Oh man, the folds are so tight. Come on, I gotta get it going.
Boy, easy now.
Having some trouble here.
Easy now.
Hang on. There's like a little. I think there's a little tape on there.
Because it was hanging. You were showing it off.
Because it was hanging up. And
there we go.
This one. Come on. We'll get it right sooner or later. There you go. So you get these posters. Whoops. You get.
And then it folds up on its own.
That's true too. Sometimes they can be quite fun to deal with. But there you go. So you get these posters, and this one was for Grand Theft Auto Liberty City, which came out. I want to say, oh gosh, that had to be 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Yeah, it was definitely like newer, right?
Yeah. So and you get the map and stuff like that, and
this was useful for the game too, right? Like this was a thing where you could look, like if you were lost in the game, you could look at your map that they gave you, and you could use it as a real map.
Yeah, and people would, and oftentimes you would have to, right? Because back then you only kind of sometimes had the little map down in the corner, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool, is that you got some of these like posters and things like that you just kind of don't get anymore. And at home, I got a bunch of them. Now, of course, everybody probably, if you were growing up playing video games, you probably played a lot of Sonic, right? So sometime what I did is I grabbed a bunch of these.
You got the big
and
one.
I put it on there. There you go.
Come on.
Come out
Look
here.
at this.
Right? So, hey, look at that. So I grabbed a bunch of these and I just kind of I bought this frame. It was like $20 at Walmart or something. And all I did was basically like, there you go, right? So I have Sonic 2. Who doesn't love Sonic 2?
That was the debut of Tails, is that correct?
That's right. That was the debut of Tails, right? And then we had Sega Game Gear. This was from another game. It's from an NHL game, and I flipped it over and just put it in there. So you got, a bunch of Sonic games there. And then this is some of the EA series from 2000, 25 years ago. NFL Quarterback Club 99, Brett Favre, right? And then you had GT64 Mission Impossible. So I just kind of grabbed one of these posters, and I made this, and it hangs up in my living room. And I'm telling you, man, it's the coolest thing I have.
You literally, it's such a good conversation starter, right? Like this shows you like,
oh, totally,
your video gaming past and the things that you liked and the stuff that you thought was cool.
This was my childhood growing up. So people come
so
over,
awesome.
and it's neat because someone will come over and they'll say, "Hey, that's a
Yeah, you play that game?
You
I love
invite
that game.
a guy who loves video games. Like, wow, Sonic 2, that's
instantly.
neat.
Yeah.
That's neat. So
That's
and I brought this along because it's just an idea that if you have some old video games and you have some posters and you want to do something with them, this is something that you can do. It's a nice little collage.
And we're talking about our Twitch studio here, which is going to be all about gaming.
Yeah.
This could be a nice little way for us to spruce up the Twitch area.
Exactly,
like
exactly. Or if you got a gaming room, right? You know what? You can make something like this and put it up there. And it's super fun.
How is Cyber Tiger?
I've never played Cyber Tiger. Is it good? It's like
know.
Tiger Woods. It's supposed to be like a goofy Tiger Woods golf
like a
game.
fun one.
Yeah, exactly. So now the last thing I brought over here is because we talked about NBA Jam, and I got it for Sega Genesis. By the way, this unfortunately it doesn't have the Toronto Raptors in it because the Raptors weren't around back in 1993 when this game was released. But the big famous thing about it, do you know what it is?
Well, I have no idea.
It's the guy who says,
dude.
"Boom shakalaka,
He's on fire!" Yeah.
Right?
Totally.
He's rejected, right? Well, actually, that guy. So the person who did that, he's still around. His name is Tim Kitzrow.
I knew you would know this guy. You know
His
the EA
name is
Sports
Tim-
guy. You know this NBA Jam guy. Tell me more. Sorry, I'll
So
stop
Tim,
interrupting.
no, it's okay. So Tim Kitzrow did all the voicing for Midway Sports, and he's actually still around. I think he lives in Illinois. I can't remember, but I actually found him on Facebook, and I sort of messaged him one day, and he started. This was several years ago. He started this thing where you could pay $50, and he would do your voicemail.
That's so cool.
So I got it. And I got the guy from NBA Jam doing my voicemail. Now let's come out here. I'm gonna put this up to the mic. It's on my phone.
You only get this type of quality right here
On the Gary Nichols Show.
Right.
So here it is.
You've reached primetime Matt Young from Saskatoon. Boom shakalaka. He's on fire. No doubt about that one. Leave a message to avoid being rejected.
There you go. So hopefully that came across on the mic. We'll play it one more time.
You've reached primetime Matt Young from Saskatoon. Boom shakalaka. He's on fire. No doubt about that one. Leave a message to avoid being rejected.
There you go. So now, I got the NBA Jam guy doing my voicemail, which is super cool. And I got him to mention Saskatoon because that's what it's all about.
And that is way before like cameos and all that too, right, dude? Like that's
this was around. I think I want to say it's around 2011, 2010, 2012, somewhere in there. And
before you could actually do that.
Yeah. So it was really neat. And of course he went on to do like the NFL Blitz series and the Wayne Gretzky hockey, and I think he did like Mutant League football for Xbox, and
cool.
And the neat thing is that I would love to just sit down and chat with him and just ask him what it was like to just be the guy who does the voice that as kids we all wondered, who is that guy?
You imagine
well, you got to talk to him.
You go into a store and he's like ordering something and you hear that voice like, oh my God, is that him?
Can you say boom shakalaka?
Yeah,
Can you just do it for me just once? Like you're in a restaurant.
How many times do you think that happened to him?
I'm sure lots.
Yeah.
Well, he's been on some Fox Sports basketball I want to say pregame shows and halftime shows where they've kind of talked to him and they sort of reminisce about that. So I just thought that was kind of cool. So that's there you go. I got him to do my my voicemail, and it's pretty awesome.
That's
so
so cool, dude.
So I'm excited about that, and of course I think when I get home I'm gonna dig out some of these guys and play a little Stanley Cup or National Hockey or NBA Jam and have a good time.
That's what it's all about, brother.
There you go.
Matt Young from CTV. Check him out all over the internet. This dude's doing big things. How's all the sports stuff going?
It's going really good. Speaking of sports, there's also the real sports that we got going on.
Yes.
So how about the Saskatoon Blades? They're off to a hot start. 7 wins in their first 9. They've 15 of 18 points. They're first place in the Eastern Conference. I mean, they're smoking because a lot of people thought, they would lose some players. Are they going to be as good?
The whole rebuild after chasing, right? Everyone says, whoa.
The goaltenders. Yeah. I mean, everybody's pulling their weight, and they're doing good. And get your tickets now. I think there's something special brewing at SaskTel Center, and the Blades are off to a hot start. And then Hilltops PFC final this weekend.
It's happening
against the Regina Thunder. And by the way, there's a great clip. I posted it on Twitter of Charles Sawi returning a missed field goal for the Hilltops, 110 yards back to the house.
Guess who was on the call?
Yeah, that way it was me who was on the call, but it's more about the really good play.
Obviously,
I mean, it was a smoking good play.
Of course.
So the Saskatoon Hilltops beat the Edmonton Huskies, so they're at home this Sunday at SMF Field. Get out there. By the way, should be beautiful weather this weekend.
Here we go.
You're looking at sunny temperatures, double digits, which for late October.
Perfect for watching football.
Can't complain this time because
Absolutely.
we could be in a blizzard right now.
Don't tempt
Oh,
the
wait,
gods.
wait.
Yes,
I won't say anything. Yeah.
No, we're all good. We're very happy.
No blizzard, please.
That's right.
So,
Very well said, dude.
And then the Huskies football team, they're at home. They're taking on the Regina Rams, right? Big provincial rival right there. And the Huskies, they've surged. They've won their last 2 games. They were the first team to beat the Manitoba Bisons, who were undefeated. And now, if they win, they're possibly having a home playoff game at Griffiths, which is always fun because it's cold, which I don't mind a little football in the cold, especially around playoff time.
That's the thing.
We'll see how that works.
If it's playoff time, we don't mind, right?
I don't mind a snow game once in a while. In fact,
Absolutely.
I think football always, like, once in a while when you get those snow games, there's just something picturesque about that.
Yeah.
Because I think I don't know, for some people it reminds you of you playing in the snow in your
That's
backyard.
it, being a kid.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's what you did, is you
Absolutely.
played football in the snow because you could tackle people and it wouldn't
Wouldn't
hurt. Well,
Yes.
sometimes it still did, but
You wouldn't tell anybody though, right?
No.
And that's the thing. And man,
Yeah.
like even the sounds, like the crack, like
Yeah.
the crack of a tackle in a
yeah.
snow-filled
And
field
it
is
flies up everywhere and
yeah,
stuff
it's very
like that.
cool. I'm with
Yeah,
you.
so
not too much of it, but it's okay in
it's okay
small
in
doses.
playoff time.
Yeah.
In small doses, you get those snow games. But no snow in this week. It's going to be nice. So get out to Griffith Stadium, SMF Field. Check out a Blades game because Saskatoon sports teams right now, they're hot.
We're rolling, man.
They're
We're getting into that
absolutely
season.
hot. And the men's hockey team for Huskies is also rolling too. I think they're ranked like 5th in the country.
They're up
So,
there.
I mean, everybody's firing on all cylinders. So we got lots of that. And I mean, it's shaping up to be a pretty good fall. And we'll see when it does snow. I mean, I always figure if you can get past Halloween,
You're still tempting it.
it's a win. I know. I won't say anything. I got to be quiet now. Sometimes I talk too much.
I was joking. Matt
There
Young
you go.
from CTV every Thursday right here on your show. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it every time. And we'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Just love that guy. Again, Matt Young from CTV comes by and reminds us how cool it is to play video games. Still to this day. True story, so keep that up. As the show continues, we got another previously recorded segment for you, and it's another fun one with someone we absolutely love and adore. Dragon, let's go ahead and find out who that is. Unless I realize we were just bragging about how quick we could flip it over. And he said at least 36 seconds, and I didn't give him that. So until we get there, Wendie Brooks Media, shout out to her. I wonder if she's going to join us at any point. That'll be cool as well. Say hello to our friend Dax and the team over at PropertyGuys.com. Hit them up for all your property guys needs, if you will, as they're always happy to help. Again, hello to our buddy Dax and all the other incredible businesses that are a part of this amazing family that we've started here at the Dufferin Avenue Media Network inside the Sautner Concrete Services Clubhouse. That's where our studio resides. So all the love to our friends in SCS as well. And by the way, new episode 14 of the All Out of Angst podcast, fully up and running for you to enjoy. You can find it everywhere the podcasts are, including the Spotifys and the Apples and the Amazons and the other ones. They're all there for you. So be sure to check out the latest edition with Matt from all the bands, including this one right here. It doesn't look cool when you can see my hand. I was trying to be funny. Clearly, I'm not an actor. As well as Uncle Mike from All the Natural Products. It would have been way funnier if I could have did that. Like, well done. Look, Uncle Mike. Sort of creepy. That looks like one of those spiders that eat your legs in, like, on the other side of the world in the desert. Those big giant ones that they hit you with their poison and that numbs your leg, and as you're sleeping, they eat your whole leg off while you're sleeping. Very horrifying. Do not hang out with those spiders. How are we looking now? Was it a good dance? I was like 6 seconds too soon. I could tell right when I did it. Highly embarrassed. Dragon's being funny. He loves watching me dance around here. That's the fun part for the producers. Okay, now we're ready. Let's find out who we get to talk to next. Brixie's here.
Hi.
You know her from the past Our Bedtime podcast, as well as the face of Wendie Brooks Media. I call her the lady that saved my social hell or my mental health.
Oh.
Either way, she did it with Wendie Brooks Media. How you doing, buddy?
So good.
So good to see you. Excited for take 2?
Yeah, me and Gary filmed a really funny
20 minutes.
Yeah, 18
I'm
to
upping
20
it.
minute episode.
It was 20 minutes full. It would have been about 18 with edits.
Yeah, and he didn't have any sound, so he pulled a Brooksy. He says.
I was chirping her so hard for not checking her equipment before she went and did, was it 2 episodes you lost?
We lost 2 30-minute episodes. So that's an hour.
I'm so sorry that I just went at you so hard. I apologize.
Yeah, at least
I now know how it feels.
I was telling him at least it wasn't like, I don't know. Just
So this is a way more condensed, better version of what we just did as we continue to take a look back at Wendie's, dare I say, social media prowess.
I don't even know what that means. My Facebook status is.
Her Facebook status is over the years. I think it's going to turn into a playlist. We've been talking to Network Ryan, and he wants to get this like specifically on a playlist with each one of these.
Oh my God.
So it'll be very funny. We can sort of go through your entire life.
Yeah, this is also kind of cringe because I already listened to these and they were so cringe. So
There's a lot of cringe going
I
on.
apologize for the cringiness before it happens. Go.
You ready to get cringed?
Cringe me, baby.
Cringe away. 8 years ago. I love elephants. Then there's a crying face.
Cry face. Yeah.
Did you watch Dumbo?
No. But I mean, that would make me cry for sure.
Yeah,
That
I
would
don't
make me
watch
cry.
Dumbo because that's all it does is make you cry.
Yeah, and the last take we were talking about how it made my emotional I can't even say it.
You
My
got this.
emotional intelligence bad because now I just cry over everything. And then Gary
That's
was
right.
like,
Emotional intelligence, is that a thing?
I don't even know if that's a word.
I don't think it is.
So that just proves me and Gary both don't have emotional intelligence.
Lots of emotions, but no intelligence.
No, I love elephants. I love elephants so much.
I
When I
also
think
love
about them, I
elephants.
just like
They're the
wanna
gentle
burst.
giants.
Yeah.
People need to be more like elephants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They never forget to.
Yeah. So they're so smart.
That's right.
And the babies are so cute.
Because they have huge brains, hey? They have huge, giant elephant brains. That's why they never forget anything.
I know their brains are probably as big as we are.
Yeah.
That's crazy. A whole brain as big as you.
Something to think about. 10 years ago, Wendie Brooks posting on her Facebook stat machine.
Stop.
Night of the Living Dead pub crawl this Friday. Ooh. Come out to celebrate Amanda's birthday. Only $5 to come on the bus. Get your tickets from me. Message me ASAP, parentheses.
Smile face. Before emojis.
Or is semicolon the one that winks at you?
Yeah.
Okay. How was your Night of the Living Dead pub
It
crawl?
was so good.
Sounds very
Man,
intriguing.
I used to just plan pub crawls when I was back in the day, like religiously.
You were practicing for your event planner.
Yeah, I planned that pub crawl as a surprise birthday gift because her birthday is so close to Halloween. So we all dressed up as zombies. Quite
That'd
a
be
bit
pretty fun.
earlier than Halloween too, so it was kind of funny because we're the only
Was
ones.
this right in the middle of Walking Dead too, and zombies were hot?
I don't know. I didn't watch Walking Dead until recently. I'm actually addicted.
Well, you didn't
they
have
have
to
a
be-
new Walking Dead episode coming out. Keep going.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, I know.
So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Okay.
I did that pub crawl. I've done anything but clothes pub crawl. ABC. That one was fun. I did a thrift shop pub crawl.
Hold on. Does this like show up in a garbage bag or what?
Yeah, anything that's not anything but clothes. I did.
What did you wear?
I wore, you know the lei
Lays,
The
yes,
Lays.
from Hawaii.
I made a
yes.
skirt out of one, but like the cheap plastic version.
Okay.
And then my top was, I don't know what my top was. It was like those bows. You know those bows that are like curly, like the curly bows that you put on presents.
Yeah.
I just had a bunch of curly bows everywhere. Yeah, that was my outfit.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving right along. 11 years ago, Brooksy came up with the totally original paragraph of, "You see her when you close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why." There is no way this is from a song or a quote from a movie. This is 100% Brooksy. How did you dig so deep to create something that totally feels like it was ripped off from a song or a movie?
I ripped it off from a song. Okay. Now, the second take I'm thinking about it, I said it was Passenger, like the band. But now, from what's coming up next, I think it's actually the band Train. But I don't know. So, I just.
Either way, those are garbage bands with shitty songs.
No, it's so good. So good.
Train sings a song about dropping Jupiters.
Drops Jupiter in her head.
Garbage song. Great voice.
I love that song.
Garbage song. 11 years ago, Brooksy posting on her Facebook update stats. "Hi, now you can creep away." Oh, this isn't you. This is Heather
that's-
posting to you.
That's my secret
And mine.
half auntie.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
checks out.
Yeah.
You explained it in the first take.
I did the first take. My mom found out about a secret half sister like way, way later in her life. Like she was like in her 40s.
And then you guys got to meet each other.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then I got to creep her.
Not just Minecraft anymore. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Brooksy, 15 years ago, and this is our final one. Very simple. OMG, Train XD.
I have no idea. I could not tell you. The amount of stuff me and my friends did on trains, that could have
That's
been
one.
anything.
Maybe you saw a train
Saw a train.
and were so uplifted by
Yeah.
it that you posted about it.
Yeah. When I got locked in the train, but I think we
That was
just we
before.
decided it was before.
Yeah, she got locked in a train by accident while they were hanging out partying in the train yard.
Yeah. And then
Don't be like
this
Brooksy.
could be around the time my friends used to like jump on a train while it was moving to get through the train to get on the other side. So they'd jump on the train, walk through, and then jump off the train.
Not safe.
But then they would still have to wait for me because I wouldn't do it. So I'm like, it was pointless.
Is that how you got stuck? They just left you in there? You got in there, it's like, I can't do this, guys.
No, when I got stuck in the train, it wasn't moving.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like where the homeless people hang out. I don't know why we were down there.
Just
We
be
were
safe,
looking
kids.
for
Be safe.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things growing up was finding places to party, like the kids say.
Yeah.
Like, there's been a lot of places where like, why is there so many people here? Like in the middle of nowhere. But
Yeah, I
word
thought
gets out, there's
I
a party.
thought
Off
that
you go.
was like better place than the first time I drank was like in a bush at Ashworth Homes Park. That's like in Caswell Hill. And yeah, so we're in the bush drinking. And we drank so much that when I stepped out of the park, I don't remember anything. And all I remember was my friends saying that they took me to Harry Bailey Pool. And I was throwing up everywhere. And a guy was calling the cops while following us. And they followed us all the way home until I
you-
got to my house.
In the pool?
No, I was in the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm just, yeah,
Yeah.
apparently puking everywhere. I don't remember any of that. So anyway,
Be
the,
responsible, kids.
the better choice was
Don't
the train.
be idiots like
I
us.
don't even know I got
Please
locked
don't
in it.
do what we did.
No,
It was so dumb.
it was, yeah, I could have waited.
Yeah.
But you know what? Because I got it out of my system so young, I stopped when I
That's true.
got older. You
You
know,
learn.
I just had it. I was already done with partying by
Wha-
a certain age.
One of the biggest things that you need to embrace in growing up is that you learn so much. And if you choose to ignore what you learn, you're only hurting yourself.
Yeah,
Didn't mean to go so deep
so
there.
deep.
Sort of felt weird. Don't know if I like it very
Yeah.
much.
And then, anyway, quick shout out to Past Our Bedtime. We're filming today
Thank
for
you.
a Halloween episode and another really cringy episode about red flags that we chose to ignore.
You guys get the craziest topics.
I know.
The craziest. I love that. I love that you cover so much each and every week over at the Past Our Bedtime podcast.
Yes. And our last podcast we did about birding. Birding
So good.
101.
With Jessica.
Yeah, and we got lots of views and like 6 new subscribers.
People
it was
love
crazy.
birds, dude.
I was
People
like, I didn't
love
know.
birds.
Maybe we might switch our whole podcast to birding.
Or at least just have one a month with Jessica
Yeah.
and do some more bird stuff.
That's it, Jessica. You need to come back on.
Maybe we
People
get
love
Jessica on this show.
You. Yeah.
I think she
Honestly.
would come on with you and Hardcore, and we can do some birding in here.
Maybe. She lives in Blackstrap and has 2 very young kids. So
What does that have to do with her being able to come in for
Well,
20
it's
minutes to
just-
talk about birds?
it's just a lot of commute.
To
Especially
talk about birds if she's already in the city?
she's not in the city.
We can get her, next time she comes in, we can work around it. Point
Okay.
is, we can make it happen.
Okay.
Stop trying to not get us birding around it. I want a
Okay,
bird.
well, bird. I also know
Okay.
another birder. And
The
I
team
know,
is growing.
yeah.
Everyone's a birder. That's the big joke, that once you get to a certain age, everyone's a birder.
and I really want to have a special guest on soon to talk about tea leaf reading.
Nice.
So it's drinking
That's good.
tea, which we love around here.
Yep.
And it gives you like it's like future telling.
Yeah, it's like fortune.
Basically.
It's like a cookie's fortune.
Yeah.
But with tea.
But then you have to look at it and decide what it means.
I want to
for your
talk
life.
to Jessica about my crows that I adopted last year.
Your crows are wild.
I had
Like there's so many.
Legit, I had 3 crows in my backyard out of Blackstrap that I hand fed. And the mom would come over. They built a nest right outside of our backyard. So I'd go out and always give them different treats. I'd give them like toast and all sorts of different stuff. And then they would, because I heard her talking about how they bring you treats back to thank you.
Yeah.
So they bring me like berries and like little dead bugs and stuff. And they put them right where I'd always put all the treats for them. And they would like hop
Aw,
over and eat out of
you
my hand. It
did
was the
have
best. I had
friends.
crows. So I want
Yeah.
to talk to her about that.
Today I saw birds with red heads, with like all a red head.
Cardinals?
I don't know what they were.
We're going to find
Not a
out.
cardinal. I think it was a purple-headed finch.
Of course.
Finch.
Finch. Nailed it.
But I've never seen them before. So
There you go.
bird watching with Wendie.
This is what goes on over the past Our Bedtime podcast. Be sure to check them out as she co-hosts over there with our good friend Hardcora, who you see here every Friday, except for this upcoming Friday because she is busy.
Yep.
Brixie, thank you so much. She's also from Wendie Brix Media. If you need social media, she does it
I'll help you
very
out.
well. She will save you mentally and physically from all the anguish that comes with having to, for some stupid reason, post on social media all the time.
Yeah,
The worst.
I'll help you out.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, but I really appreciate it all.
Okay, bye. Have a spooky day.
Anything else? This is what we deal with here. This
Spooky.
is what she does.
Do the fingers.
No.
Spook. Do them.
Nope.
Huh. Okay, bye.
Yet again, more proof to never be a sheep. Don't let people tell you what to do, especially if they're telling you to do spooky fingers. Thank you again to Brooksy as we are halfway through the Thursday edition of your show right here on YouTube, Monday to Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. I also want to take some time to shout out all the people that are a part of this amazing journey already. As we just talked about, new episode of the All Out Angst podcast. Dropping today, episode 14. We have a new episode of The Viewing Room, Batman, starring Dragon, who's in the booth. Well, not the movie, but starring in The Viewing Room, where they do movie reviews, as he co-hosts with the great LB, the best Batman of all time, 89 Batman, Tim Burton. They got a review for you there. We also have the Bamford Co. podcast, new episode every Wednesday. That means there's another new one for you right now over on our network. Shout out to our friends at Aquaman Limited. Underwater drone inspection still going, as well as water monitoring and sampling, doing amazing things there. I do want to say, Deneb Finishing. Yeah, they built the tooth booth. Literally. Finishing, no one does it better than Deneb Finishing Carpentry. Shout out to Dr. Hausman Associates as well. I was talking earlier, I'm not too excited about heading into the dentist. I finally made my appointment. As I always like to try to get it with, like, in the lunchtime or after work so we can hang out with Dr. Funkhauser in the back after we do our checkups and our cleans and stuff. And so we're finally booked in on Monday, the 28th. So to Dr. Funkhauser, I'll see you over at the Big Tooth on 2nd Ave on that day. If you have a business, if you have an organization, if you have an idea for a show, any of those things or anything else, we have a website. And we serve it up like this, just like a pizza pie. Check us out. DufferinAve.com. If you want to help out the community, just head over to DufferinAve.com. It's the best website in the world because our buddy Royal Anders made it. You can connect with us there. Had a bunch of feedback coming through and always appreciate it as we have a couple new people coming aboard, some new shows getting started, and another great example of that, Slice by Slice with Asher. New episode dropping yesterday as well every Wednesday as our buddy Asher does a pizza review show which is very, very cool. Dragon, how are we looking on that Zoom? I got a little bit of love from Coach here, but I don't know if he's there. He's there, and he is good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 days in a row. Not only that, he was the best driver in the history of mankind last night as we made our way to the cave and ate all that delicious food, compliments of George and the team over at the cave, as we had the Fat Tito Ultimate Draft. And he is here with us yet again. Zoom, and then zoom some more. Ladies and gentlemen, he is Coach 2. Yeah, we changed it to TOO now. Nobody told Dragon. Nobody told Dragon that we changed it over. How you doing, buddy?
I'm a little bit disappointed. Can you hear me okay here?
Yeah. You not only do you sound great, you look incredible. Did you like take a shower at work or something? Why does your hair look slicked back like you're a hockey player?
No, that's just natural. What the flow does after a hard day of work. A little bit of windy day, so it's a little bit wind blown, you know.
Now I'm starting to understand why Sarah stays with you. Your lovely, beautiful wife. I always ask you, how did you land such a perfect woman? And now I get it. I can see it with my own eyes.
Yeah, she needs to remind me to hydrate and take care of myself and shower once in a while.
Always important. So we were over at the cave again. Hello to George and the gang over there. We really got to get them involved here, Mace, because we always have a great time when we go to the drafts over there. I managed to slam down 9 pieces of pizza yesterday, along with those amazing ribs that you and Kavanaugh got out as the losers of the draft. How many pieces of pizza did you eat last night, bro?
I would say I had 4.
That's it, hey?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well.
It was late. It was 9.
I think I noticed as well. That's a good point. Normal people don't eat at that time. That's like when I opened up my window to the end of my fast, so I was ready. I think the third time I went up, because George was sitting right by the setup table. I think he would give me a little side eye. I was like, really? You're going back for more? As I'm chicken fingers, got those ribs.
No, he wants it. He wasn't thinking that. He wants it all eaten. He laid it all out there.
Touche.
If
It's
there's
probably
any
in my own head.
Waste. So
yeah,
you did a good job. I failed.
It's a walk of shame when you're the only guy that goes up there as everyone looks at you. So maybe I was just in my head. Either way, the food was absolutely incredible. So we're going to get in touch with George and see if he wants to come in here. Maybe we can do a caveman challenge in the studio here, you and I. It'd be pretty fun.
I don't think that challenge can get out the door though, can it? It has to be done inside. But that could be content.
That'd be pretty good. We'll talk.
Eating challenges are all the rage. There's little niche markets for that. Those food. They're pretty gross to watch, but I would definitely try with you. I think you can have 4 people.
4 guys? That's what I was going to ask. Dragon, would you be able to hammer a Oh, Dragon. I didn't even have to look over. I could feel the wind from him nodding. He's like, yes, I am in, bro. So this is good. The reason I want to get you on today, I haven't done any research here, but as we were drafting last night, we were talking about Bronny James and how the son of LeBron, playing on the same team as LeBron, like how are they going to, differentiate father and son? Like, is it going to be a B James? Because they can't just have James and James. That doesn't work. And LeBron ain't going to be changing it. And then you, being the guy that you are, you looked it up and you saw that he actually goes by James Jr. on his jersey. My big thing was anybody walking around with a James jersey, now that Bronny plays for them, they'd be like, hey, guy, your LeBron James jersey has the wrong number. And he'd be like, no, it's a Bronny jersey. But they avoided that by calling him James Jr., which made us all realize Bronny is just short for LeBron. And I didn't know that. So James Jr. goes on the jersey in LA with the Lake Show. And that got us talking about the best juniors in sports. And my very first thought was, well, baseball's done. That's not even a hard one. It's Ken Griffey Jr. He's so electric, so incredible. And then you came right back, like, well, Cal Ripken. And then everything just died. I was like, well, I guess baseball isn't a lock now. And then we talked about, I'd rather have the security of an all-star for 18 out of 20 years that's short than have, 10 or 11 of Griffey just launching dingers all over the place with that, the sweetest, dare I say, sweeter than Sweet Swing and Johnny Olerud. That swing by Ken Griffey Jr. And then that sort of opened the door to this conversation we're having now. The best juniors in sports. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, you've thrown a lot at me here. I would say that you got me thinking of sweet swings. I don't know. There's something about a lefty swing. Yeah. I don't know what it is. The righty swinging from the right side, there's a hitch. There's a hitch to a swing on the right side to get into the zone and stay on top, stay through the baseball. It's not as smooth. There's something about a lefty that they seem to can open up their hips a little bit early and do that little loopy swing. I don't know why that is, but
Dare I say,
Freddie Freeman's the exact opposite. He'll stay closed on it, and he still matches the ball too. So that there's a little bit, but like Rafael Pomero, if we ignore the roids and stuff, he had a sweet swing. Griffey had that,
do you think it
that
would
amazing
have
swing.
anything to do with the camera angle, the way the camera sees the swing?
No, it's not. It's just different.
Okay.
I don't know why it is.
That's what the kids say now. He's just different. Coach is
It's just different. So about the juniors, so we got going on it. I don't know where you want to go with this, but the first name, I don't know why it popped into my head, was Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah. Is he one of the greatest NASCAR racers of all time?
I don't know. I don't know
like
anything about NASCAR. I'd assume so.
Most well known.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'd be a huge junior. I think you could go like the father-son combo game is fun, but just strictly juniors. Who are the best juniors of all time? But it's hard to leave baseball because you have Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah.
So where is he going to end up in a couple of years? You got Fernando Tatis Jr. Where's he going to go?
His dad wasn't as good as Vladdy Sr., was he? Fernando Tatis.
What does it's not about the seniors, it's about the juniors.
Yeah, get my head straight.
The greatest juniors of all time.
Yep. Okay.
And Fernando Tatis is unreal.
Yeah. But he ain't no
So
junior.
I think we'd have to start looking it up. There's crazy father-son combos that they weren't juniors.
Go ahead. What I think we need to do is
what's that?
Eliminate basically all the juniors from like 2010 and up. And I say that because that was sort of the turning point where all of the athletes started putting their kids into the sports. Like if you look around the world of pro sports now, it's nothing but juniors and sons of all the legends of all the sports. That's sort of how it's going. So having those juniors be involved, it just opens up way too much of a pool because there's so many out there right now that are so good because athletes said, you know what? My kid's going to play pro. We're going to put him into every single thing we can to make sure he gets there. And they already have the gene lottery one. So it just sort of goes from there. So I think we have to have a cutoff point at somewhere around that 2010-ish area. Dragon agrees.
I don't understand why.
Just because there's way too many that are really, really good now. All the pro leagues are filled with sons of pro players. There's no more of those organic stories anymore in the pros where these guys come off the streets or come from the hood or come from the blacktop and with no background, with no lottery genetically winning. You know what I mean?
So why do we need, but this is the whole point, is a junior where you're got to expect that if he's a junior of someone, then that's someone, if he's a senior that played the game,
yeah,
he's going to have some advantages going into this.
This is true. I'm just trying to shrink the pool is what I'm doing because it is a very big pool when you go around the world of sports. But let's get into some names now. So we got Ken Griffey and Cal Ripken, and you want to throw in Vladdy and Fernando?
For sure.
Okay, what else do we got?
Sandy
Alomar Jr. Very good.
I mean, not as big of a name. I cheated. I looked this up right now. I'm looking right now. But there's tons. When you're in it, you have a surefire way of being successful if you have a father that paved the way, so to speak. But it's also genetics. Like Bobby Bonds, not a junior.
Yes, and that goes into father-son. I see what you're saying, the separation of that and only juniors.
So we're only talking about juniors, right? I think we covered baseball.
Well, we didn't actually say which one. I'm just for entertainment purposes, I'm going with the flashy Ken Griffey over the Iron Man, Cal Ripken.
I wouldn't disagree.
Either way, you win. Okay, next sport. Where are we going?
Where are we going with this? Do you want to try a different sport? Do you want to try football?
Let's do it.
I don't have anything.
Well, when you think back over the years, has football had a lot of juniors?
For sure, but I don't know if the seniors of those juniors were as prolific as.
They don't have to be. We're just talking juniors. That's all we need in this research is a JR on the back end of the name, on the back of the
There's
jersey.
quite a few in basketball, but Travis Etienne Jr. Like, does that? Yeah, like who's that?
Whenever I hear Travis Etienne, I just think about getting injured and losing fantasy football.
Why?
I'd probably pass on him just because he doesn't produce much. He's always getting hurt, poor guy.
Clay Matthews Jr. Does that do it for you?
I like Clay Matthews. That guy could tackle. Eh? He was a tackle machine.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
Is this going where you wanted it to go, Gary?
Not really. But at the same time, it's nice to know that we were wrong. There's nothing wrong with admitting you're wrong, thinking that there would be a lot to talk about with juniors in sports. So far, the only ones we
curious.
like.
Following their footsteps, there's an article by ESPN that's talking about the Bronny James. So you're not the first one to think of this, Gary, unfortunately.
I'm just upset that they don't call him Bronny James Dio. And then he comes out to, Holy Diver. That would make me happy.
Here's one for you. You got Bronny James, who's going to have a bigger career at the end of their playing career, who's going to have a more prolific career, or maybe more successful, however you deem success. You got Bronny James or Deion Sanders.
Oh, like Shadur Sanders?
No, Deion Sanders Jr.
Is there a Deion Sanders Jr.?
Yeah, I think the answer is pretty easy. It'll be Bronny, but Shadur Sanders might live that name up pretty good, right?
Not a junior, yeah,
but not a junior.
There's no way Bronny James Jr. is going to be good. Like, let's just be real here. He's there.
Why?
He's there because his dad's there, man. Come on.
You don't think the Pauls have impressed me a little bit?
The Pauls, like Logan?
No, what is that? Balls. The Balls.
Lonzo and Mello? Yeah,
Lonzo.
Okay. Well, Lonzo, one of them just came back after like a 2-year hiatus.
Yeah.
And their dad was the worst. Those guys aren't even juniors. Those are just sons, so we don't care about them.
We don't care about them.
The juniors
Clay Matthews Jr., Clay Matthews the third. What about George Foreman's kids?
Interesting.
Do you ever look up at George Foreman? Didn't he name all of his kids George Foreman?
He had a daughter that like dominated for a bit, didn't he?
I don't know. Let's look up George Foreman's family.
He had a great grill. Man, when I was in Slave Lake, Alberta, every meal I made came off the George Foreman grill. It was amazing. While I was sleeping on my hide-a-bed in a no-bedroom apartment. Slave Lake, Alberta. Living the dream.
There's a lot of father-son. Oh, dude, we forgot one. We got it.
This is what
Thanks, Google. Ready for it?
I am so ready.
Oh, there's two that might happen. So I'll go with the light version and then the heavy version. So we got Emmett Smith, then EJ Smith, which I think E stands for Emmett. EJ Smith, slow start to his collegiate year. Recently transferred to Texas A&M, trying to reset. So there's potential that he's got a pedigree. You think it's good, but here's one that we missed: Marvin Harrison Jr. And you love that name. So, okay, Marvin Harrison Jr. versus LeBron Jr. Who's bigger?
Marvin already, and he's out with a concussion. He already has I think 4 touchdowns in 5.5 games. The dude's all they got in Arizona. Him and Trey McBride. So clearly, I'd really like to see him have a full-on mustache like his dad. His dad had one of the best mustaches in all the sports, Marvin Harrison Sr., back when Peyton was slinging TDs to him.
I think you've inspired me, if nothing else, about the segment of disappointing juniors, but it's an amazing thing as well. I'm into baseball stars. I love the segment. Your Thursday segment. Or Wednesday, is it Wednesday? Thursday segment.
Thursdays with C2B's
Thursday.
Young. Yes.
With Matt Young, of cleaning up your old gear. So I have my 8-bit Nintendo. I have it set up in my son Louis's room. Louis has decided to move downstairs and live with Jacoby because he's got a huge room down there. So they share a room.
You stole your son's room to play baseball stars?
Oh, yeah. I got a TV in there, and well, it's what it should be, just the chill room, whatever. And then Yeah, I think I'll make a junior team on the Baseball Stars. That game's so good. So much you can do. Like you can make a league of about 6 teams, just all created teams, and it remembers all that stuff.
Replayability.
Until you forget to hit hold, reset, and power at the same time, then you lose everything.
Everything. Yeah. Is that I was just talking to Dragon earlier today about we're going to start putting together our Twitch streaming schedule. Are you going to be able to stream any Baseball Stars? Is that something we can lock you in on?
I'd love to. I don't think there's a world record. I don't think there's something I could beat. That thing takes time, and you can set your own season with how many games played. There'd be parameters. Do you have to go in with a fresh, you have to play with one of the teams in the game, or do you create a team and just work with what you have? The whole thing is you work and you earn attributes and money to increase your attributes of all your players. So I don't know how you could speed run.
You don't have to
speed run that.
We could just enjoy watching you enjoy it. Like someone was talking to me about Twitch streaming and why I didn't want to do it by myself. And there's a very easy response, because it's no fun. It's no fun sitting there and playing by yourself, as in like entertaining. So I always want a couple of the boys there and us all to take these on together. That's sort of why we have to schedule these. And I feel like even if it's just we start a season and we take turns, or wherever we do it, we just go through our season. That might be your Baseball Stars stream, and we can keep track of stats and all that.
And also, it'd be really funny when we forget to hit, when we hit power too early and then we erase everything.
I do it all the time. We did sort of get into lists, as we know you are the list master, as we realized the junior list wasn't as big or as fruitful as we expected it to be in the world of sports, which was sort of sad. Also, at the same time, good we don't go back to it.
We skipped over like Tim Raines Jr. played for Baltimore. We skipped over some good players, but yeah, like as far as it's good, there's only some juniors that end up being greater than their fathers, or you can at least debate that. And I think we listed them.
Yeah. So we can transition. That's the beauty of this show to a list about the best baseball games for Nintendo. It sure sounds like Baseball Stars is your go-to, bro.
It was until I got one of those M boxes, or those Android boxes, and then the guy that made it filled it with a whole bunch of access to these access to unlimited video games out of Japan. And I realized that there was like 8 Baseball Stars variations, where there was an all girls version where it was all just softball, but it was Baseball Stars, the same graphics, the same, everything's the same. You're playing the same thing. And then there was different things, and it wasn't Baseball Stars 2. It was just the same game. And I've realized that in a lot of Nintendo games, there's like the same essential game, the same platform, just maybe different graphics and titled something else, and they're just the identical game. But yeah, we could go baseball, Nintendo, greatest games ever.
Yeah.
So I would say Baseball Stars. You would say?
I'm an all-star softball Dusty Diamonds guy, dude.
Dusty Diamonds guy.
That's why we went after that world record. Still holding, by the way, over at speedruns.com, Dufferin Avenue Media Network, Dufferin Ave, I believe, Dufferin Ave Media on Twitch. And you look that up and you can watch. You can also watch on YouTube the world record breaking speed run of that amazing game. But I like to say it's sort of like baseball meets ice hockey, in that you can pick each player out of a pool of like 40, I think there are, and they all have different attributes and different speeds, different arm strengths, different dingers popping. And I like to be able to sort of put that team together in it and not just have a traditional team, and you play actual softball, which is very fun. So that's got to be number 1 for me. But I think we can both agree RBI baseball is right up.
Is number 3.
Number 3 for you.
I enjoyed it. I didn't have the game. One of my cousins did. I remember having a birthday party sleepover one time, and everyone was asleep, so I was awake, and I put that in and played probably till 4 a.m. by myself. And I was like, yeah, I got into it after a while. It's different. Everything has its different flows to the game. RBI is a little bit more choppy, I would say, than Baseball Stars, but yeah, still an unreal game.
What do you have?
You know, it was a good one.
Yeah. Okay.
What's that?
What do you have as number 2 in between Baseball Stars and RBI?
Well, I give you Dusty Diamonds. I played it before, for sure.
Okay, now we're cooking.
Now it's 2. Number 4, though, is something that was maybe the hardest baseball game of all time, and it was Robo 1000 or something like that. Do you remember that game?
Wars? Was it Base
Base
Wars?
Base Wars. They're like
Guy had-
robots.
yeah, they're all robots, and one of them had like a machine gun on his arm, another one had like super punches, and one guy would
And the
have
ball
like,
would, yeah, they throw 200 miles per hour, and it was just a blur and
Yep.
just the most pointless game to play because you didn't put the ball in play very much.
and when
It
you
was very
did,
gimmicky, but
you'd have to fight for possession of any base. So if you're about to get
Right.
tagged out, you go into a fight screen. Then you
is that how it went? I don't think I
Yeah.
ever got a hit in the game.
It was tough. It was a tough game. Base Wars is sort of like the Blades of Steel of the baseball world in Nintendo, in that people talk it up like it was the best ever when really it wasn't that good. I'm an ice hockey guy, so I can say that.
I know that's Base Wars. That's a different game, bud.
Well, then what the heck are you talking about?
I don't know.
Robots playing baseball.
Yeah, that Base Wars looks like it, doesn't it? There's something 1000. Maybe I made that up.
Dude, no. Get this. Baseball Simulator 1000.
That's the one.
Yeah.
I'm
there he
confusing the
goes.
two.
Dragon's on it too. Baseball Simulator 1000, you had different super abilities. You'd have a guy who could like jump up super high, and you have a pitcher who would throw like 5 balls at once, or he'd throw like spinning balls. And you had
No, that game was legit sick. So
Yeah.
Baseball Sim 1000, that's
Yeah.
number 4.
That might
Base
be-
Wars, it's off the list. My bad.
You're out of here, Base Wars. What was the other
But
one
then you
were
got
saying,
to like
Dragon? Okay, yeah, he's just confirming. Continue.
then RBI Baseball 2 would probably be 5.
Were you ever a bases loaded guy?
No, I don't remember that one. Now I got to Google that. But there's so
There
many
was-
baseball games,
Well,
hey?
you should remember, because Bases Loaded 3 starred the great Ryan Sandberg, a guy you love so much from your, well, not yours, but from your brother's
that's
fave,
J
the
Mace.
Cubbies, yeah, which is exciting. But those ones never really stood up as well. There was also Robert
That one was
Clemens
from a different point of
baseball.
view. That was from the pitcher's point of view.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't like
Yeah, it was tough.
Hmm.
I think they had 4 different Bases Loaded before they. I remember my buddy Verno, the great Vern, one of my oldest pals, was always the only guy I knew with Bases Loaded for a long time. So he got really good at it, and it pissed me off when I would lose.
Who's going to win the World Series this year?
Once the Padres lost, I didn't really care anymore because they were my hot pick. And the Mets looked like. Remember, how many times have I texted you about the Mets before we get ready for Frankie's Fingers here? Like, look out for those
Sure.
Mets. Look out for those Mets. Still going.
Yeah.
I can't
They
believe they
could
won
do
the
it.
game against the Dodgers. That was an interesting game too. Didn't even see it. But it's going to be Dodgers Yankees, right? Everyone, all the richest people are going to get all their money from all their TV, because the 2 teams they want there to get all the eyes are going to be there.
Will it get your eyes, Gary?
No, I got no time for the Dodgers or the Yankees. Unless you bring Vince Scully back somehow. I'll watch.
We
his
need
Vince
to.
doing the
We'll
call.
we'll have to have a live viewing, because that's what I've seen they do on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do the
You've been
live
pushing for it. I
watch.
like
We
that.
need one of those. Game 1 for sure. We should
World
just
Series
set.
watch party.
I think so. And Ethan knows sports so much too, because he'd had real good picks for our thing. I think he
did.
needs to be there just to explain what he sees.
I agree.
What did I call him again?
Ethan.
Oh, whoops, Dragon. I mean,
That's better. I was gonna say, who's Ethan? I was looking around.
Yeah, I
for
don't
this
know.
guy. Don't know who that is, but boy, do I know Dragon. Hey, are you gonna be able to hear Frankie's Fingers? This will be interesting. Let's go ahead and.
yeah, no, it's like
think
it's
that's
alive. I hear everything. I think
Yeah.
maybe not.
We're about to find out.
I hear it.
Are you gonna sing for me?
That's unique.
Yeah.
I got it.
Are you gonna sing for us? I want you to sing. You can't hear me now. Is that what it is? You can't hear me now? You block me out?
I can hear you.
Oh, you just don't want to sing the lyrics that you wrote to this amazing song.
No, because I don't have. Like we've texted so much, they're lost in the abyss that our
That is.
texting is. You're supposed to.
Shout out to the
Print
Abyss,
them
by the way. Love 'em.
I'll
Okay.
look for it.
You go, girl. Very, very, very big thank you to the great Matt Young from CTV stopping by as we learned more about all the cool stuff that you get when you.
Oh, that was
buy
today.
games. It was today. Yeah, it was
I
on the
missed
show.
it. I'll have
Yeah.
to watch it.
It was a very good one. As well to Brooksy, as we did another fun edition of Brooksy's Facebook updates over the years.
That was
One where
banger.
Yeah, she had one where she was crying about elephants, just in general. I was like, did you watch Dumbo or something? She's like, no, just elephants. She loves them so much. Like, I get that. I love elephants too. Hey, you've been over on the other side of the world. Do you ever pet an elephant? Are they as coarse as they look? I always thought they were
Yeah,
smooth.
they are.
Yeah?
I felt bad. We went on a little jungle trek and rode the elephants, and
Yeah, I get
they
it.
were treated decently, I think. But how they got there, I didn't know. Kind of like swimming with the dolphins in Mexico. Don't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
The
don't
world's
know. Unless
changed,
it's
man.
like a sanctuary.
The world's changed, for sure. To Coach Mazer, thank you for being here. Always love chatting with you as we talk about video games and juniors and sports. To the great Dragon co-host of the viewing room, along with our buddy LB, thank you for letting me win 2 games of Super Smash Brothers today. You have now uplived your end of the contract. You will get paid. It's very good. Tomorrow, what is it, Friday? It's Friday tomorrow. What are we going to do? We got people coming in? I think we do. I think we got actually a couple special guests, including someone with some more big news. Oh, tomorrow's
Who's
a big
that?
show. I can't tell you yet. I'll tell you off camera. It's cool stuff. Stuff's happening right now in this city. Really cool stuff. I'm very excited for it. So more on that tomorrow. Be sure to enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. And don't forget, karma's very real, all right? So do good things. They'll start happening to you. I promise. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Bye, Coach.